Hello everybody, so this is a video explaining isometric drawing. Now this is a learning task you will have pop up and there'll be a few more attachments there, but that one we can see there, isometric graph paper, that's the one we'll be using first, okay? Now I have just a little read here, there might be some more information later, but I am still creating it at the moment. Now it does say here only upload files that your teacher asks you to. So some of these tasks we will be just putting straight on the Teams chat, okay? So these will be just the ones your teacher wants you to upload here. All right, so what is isometric drawing? So isometric drawing is 3D drawing, okay? So these are sort of what we're going to start off with, just some shapes. We'll start off with a cube, all right? And eventually we won't do something that complex, but eventually we'll be able to do say a piece of furniture like a table or a bedside table or something like that. We can see this one here. Got some furniture there, so we can get a pretty good picture. So we've got a little coffee table there. We get a pretty good picture of what the furniture is going to look like in 3 dimensions. Okay, so 3-dimensional drawing is an isometric drawing. Okay, and if we have a look at this little cube here, we can see that we've got 30 degrees, 30 degrees, and then our up ones, they're straight up, all of them. Okay, and all of these images do the same thing. Well, those ones there, that one there. Okay, so what we're going to use, okay, so first off, we're going to go to our learning task. We're going to get that isometric graph paper there, okay, and save it to your computer. Now, wherever you've got it saved in your computer, we're going to go on it, and we should just be able to click edit, and it should come up in Microsoft Paint, okay? If you have a Mac, there are other programs that it might come up in. You can use Photoshop or something if you know how to do these sort of things in Photoshop, but I find Paint to be the easiest. Okay, so if you've got a Mac, there are a couple of programs that you can use. Just give it a search. There should be some built into your computer, okay? This has come up with a couple of different ones, but you'll have to base that on what you've got on yours, okay? But I think most of us have Microsoft Paint. All right, so what we're going to do is, we'll just go back to that. If you can't bring it up on here, now what you can do in our little search thing down here, just search Paint and it'll come up, okay? All Microsoft computers have them built in already. And then we open it up and we should be able to search for our file. Alternatively, what you can also do when you have your file here, instead of just clicking edit, there should be an open with. Okay, there it is, open with, and then we can pick which one we want to open it with. Okay, so you might be opening up in something else, and you can click on the Paint one, so we're all on the same page. Okay, now what I've got here is I've got a very large area, right? And if we get our magnifying glass here, we can zoom into sections with the normal click of our mouse, so the left click, and we can zoom out with the right click. Okay, and we can zoom out again and again until we can see the whole photo here, okay? Now what you can do is you can make this larger or smaller. So if I was to go up here and draw a cube, all right, we can change, so that's a straight line there. We can go to our size of our brush, so I'll just leave it on that one for now. Okay, we can change the color. I'll just leave it on black for the moment. Now remember, our straight up ones are straight up. So if you look at this grid paper, they're all little triangles. So what I was saying before with the 30 degrees, we've got 30 degrees going down this way and down this way. And we've just got the straight up ones here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick a point that's not going to go off our page. Okay, so perhaps I'll start here, click down, and you can just drag this bit here. So see how it stays in that first spot there? We can go down however far we want to go. Now maybe I want to count the squares, so I'll go 6. Make sure it's straight. There we go. We've got 6. Now what you can do, if we accidentally delete it, we can click that back button up there, okay? Same as if I was to accidentally do something and it wasn't right, we can just click that back button at the top of the page until we get back to where we wanted to, okay? Now with the grid paper background, try to avoid this select here, because what you can do with that is you can move things. Now if you do that, you're going to mess up the grid paper. Okay, so try and avoid doing that. We'll just go back to where we were. Alright, try and just use the back button for your isometric drawings. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make it 3D. So we'll first make a square. We'll go 6 as well, following the dotted lines, and as long as we go 6 here, our last one should also be 6, just like our long one. Okay, now the reason I've done this so high to the top is so I can show you something. So if I do this one as well, you'll now see to put the top on it, I've run out of space up here. Okay, so I've run out of space up here, so if I went to do that, I'm not going to see it. Alright, so we need to make sure we start down here somewhere on the page. So if I was to just quickly do our little shape here. Okay, so this is the first shape that you're doing, by the way. There is sorry, that's the other ones that are a bit harder. There is a diagram here that will also be included on Compass. Okay, so this will help you out step by step if the video is a bit too hard to pause. Okay, so as long as we keep in this order and our lines are all the same, we should be able to get to number 8 there, and we'll just have a 3D cube. Okay, don't worry about the E. That's just an extension task. If you finish too quickly, you can just have a little play and try to draw the first letter of your name. Okay, but at the moment we're just going to try and make sure we can draw a 3D object. Okay, so clicking down, holding it down, and then letting go where we want it. Now if you try and click straight on the line you've already done, it'll move it. See those? I don't know if you can see them on the video, but there's some little dots on the end of those lines, and it'll move it. To stop that, we'll just click once out here, and it gets rid of those little lines, so we can then click on that spot and draw another line, and we have a 3D shape. Now, if I get the magnifying glass here and zoom out, we can see that we don't need all this space around here. So what we can do for posting to for posting to Teams, is we can just grab the shape that we want, just put it over there. We'll grab this whole border, minimize it right down. We've got our shape. Now when we go, we don't click the save button because we'll lose our grid paper, okay? Because we can keep using that grid paper over and over and over. What we'll do is we'll click save as. Okay, so we'll save as to our computer, so what it'll do is create a new file, and then we can post it on the Teams chat or wherever your teacher wants you to post it to. Now I'm just going to go back until I've got a full thing again. Alright, now another thing we can do, if you finish a bit quicker, is we can play around with these tools a little bit. Alright, so we've got a bucket of paint here. Now what the bucket will do, we select the color, is we can paint inside these little lines here. Now, because as you can see, you can still see that grid there. What we're able to do is click this pink one here, which is actually an eraser. Okay, and that'll color it in whatever that color 2 is, because it's an eraser. Okay, so at the moment it's white. If we click our color 2 and make it black, our background color behind everything's going to be black. We don't really want that. We want to keep it white. Okay, so now what we can do is just these little lines here. Right, and if I get my magnifying glass and zoom in much closer, okay, I can see it much better now. So if I get my eraser, get rid of these little lines inside here. Alright, now if I get rid of the edge ones first, I'll show you a little trick, what we can do. Okay, so I've got rid of, if you went around and did all the edge ones, what we can do, we can get our select tool. As long as we're not selecting these little bits on the outside here, okay, as long as we're selecting in the middle here, we can grab a section and we can just hit delete. Okay, and that'll erase it much quicker. We can do that for pretty much all of it if we wanted to. Alright, so we can get rid of all this section. Now, if I was to get rid of all of that with the eraser, I'll just get rid of some of it. If I was to get rid of all of that with the eraser, I can then get the paint bucket, grab a color, and whoops, wrong color. Grab a color, and I could color the whole thing in. All right, so if I'd already erased them, I could make myself a colored square that has a different color on every side. Okay, that's what I want to try and aim and do for now. All right, so we're playing around with the tools. If you can get that all finished with different colors on it, we'll grab that object and we'll put it up in the top corner. So see, that's the background color because I've got it as color 2. Okay, so if I just grab color 1 there, grab my paint bucket, I can get. Okay, so when you get your paint bucket, your color 1, color 2, these are the 2 parts of your mouse. Okay, so your normal click is color 1, and then your right click is color 2. Okay, so if I right click, color 2, if I left click, color 1. It's frozen a little bit. That's all right, it's frozen a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, so once you've done that and posted that to compass, the first cube, if the second part isn't quite ready yet, you can just have a little play with this. Just try and draw some different shapes. Perhaps try the extension activity, doing your letter, and be ready for the next part.